Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm Mike Drodis, Bible teacher and preacher, and you are watching Solving the Prophetic Puzzle. We are living in what I refer to as the last of the last days. It's also known as the times of the Gentiles. We are living in a sliver of time that's right before the 7-year tribulation period, or right before Daniel's 70th week, which Daniel talks about in Daniel chapter 9, verses 26 and 27. So let me read that to you. And after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, and not for himself, and the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city of the sanctuary. The end of it shall not be with a flood. Until the end of the war, desolations are determined. So Daniel was told by the angel that the Jews were given 70 weeks. And after 69 weeks, Messiah would be cut off. And then it says in verse 27, then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abomination shall be one who makes desolate. So Daniel's saying that in the last days there will come the 70th week. And the beginning of the 70th week is this beast, or this Antichrist, that Daniel had seen visions of before. And he will come and he will make a covenant with the many. When will the 7-year tribulation period begin? The day that you see a man ratifying a covenant between Israel and her enemies. You can know that at that point in time, the 7-year tribulation period has begun, and there will be 7 years left for all prophecy to be fulfilled. Now, the remarkable thing is that in the middle of the 7-year period, this Antichrist, this beast, goes into the temple. That means that there must be a rebuilt temple in order for him to go back into the temple. He goes into the temple and he defiles it. He proclaims himself God, and he desolates it and desecrates it. Now, turn quickly to Revelation chapter 13, where we'll see the two beasts in the end times. Revelation chapter 13. If you read Revelation 13, you'll see that there are actually two beasts. One beast comes from the sea, one beast comes from the earth. The beast from the sea. In Revelation 13, and I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his head a blasphemous name. When you read the word sea in the Bible, you can think of the sea of mankind. This beast, this man will come out of the sea. He's alive right now. He's waiting in the wings, and he's waiting for his time to pounce. But this man will come from the sea of mankind. And he will begin to ratify the covenant with Israel, and he will begin to do terrible things on the earth. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard, his feet were like the feet of a bear, his mouth like the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him power, his throne, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. It appears that this leader, this man will be mortally wounded, and he will even appear to have been resurrected. And it's given him, and so they worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast, and who was able to make war with him. And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. He was given authority to continue for 42 months. 42 months, that's 3.5 years. Yes, the Antichrist will be on the earth for probably at the beginning, because we know that he ratifies and confirms a covenant with the many, thus starting the 7-year tribulation period. But he's given great power and great authority from Satan for 42 months, which means after the midpoint of the tribulation period, Satan will actually impart or inhabit this man, and this man will now be called a beast. He'll be Satan will fully be living inside of him, and the Antichrist turns to the beast. When will that happen? Probably when he's mortally wounded. And at that point in time, he is probably even assassinated or killed. And at that point in time, Satan, who has been cast out of the heavens, as we read in the Bible, how there's wars in the heavens and Satan is cast down to the earth, Satan has to choose a vessel in order to operate in. So who other than the Antichrist? So he possesses, takes control of this human, and this human now becomes the beast, Satan in the flesh, for 42 months. Then he opened his mouth and he blasphemed, verse 6, against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. And it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. This is the first beast, the beast from the sea. Then we read in Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. Isn't this interesting? This beast comes from the earth. When you translate that out, earth often refers to the land of Judea. I believe that this second beast, this religious leader, this person will be a religious leader. He has 2 horns like a lamb. He's appearing to be a religious leader. It appears that he's coming from the nation of Israel, the land of Judah. And this beast, this second beast, it says, he exercised all the authority of the first beast in his presence and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Oh, I can see how this is going to play out. After the Antichrist is shot and mortally wounded, Satan comes in and possesses him. Satan is now living on the inside of this man. This man is a beast. And then the second false prophet, the second beast, begins to lead the world to worship this guy who is risen from the dead, who has been resurrected, who is like the beast, they will cry out. And he will perform great signs so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he is granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image of the beast. Make an image of the beast who was wounded by the great sword. We've talked about this image. This image of the beast will be required by all people to worship this image. And if they don't worship the image, the Bible says they will be killed. This image will both be able to talk. This image will be able to move. It will look as if the false prophet has created life. And then the false prophet causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, that no man may buy or sell. We're already seeing this begin to happen now with the cashless society in Pompeii and other things that are occurring. We are moving towards this time, but not yet. Not yet. We still have time. We still have time on this earth to get right with the Lord, to prepare for what lies ahead. There will be 2 beasts coming. The first beast from the earth will be the Antichrist. He will confirm a covenant with the many, starting a 7-year period, the last 7 years. During the middle of that time frame, he will go into the temple. The temple has to be rebuilt. We haven't seen the temple be rebuilt yet. He has to go into the temple where he will declare himself as God, require the people to worship the image that the false prophet has made, and he will require all people to subscribe to his mark, his etching, his mark in their skin, on their right hand or on their forehead, pledging allegiance to him and subscribing to the new e-commerce or the new commerce that will be on the earth. No one can buy or sell unless they have the mark. But it's much worse than that. When they receive the mark of the beast, they also receive the DNA corrupting Luciferian DNA that will be included with that mark, that will take these people who are created in God's image, and they will be distorted and corrupted. And as the Bible says, for anyone who receives the mark of the beast, they have no way of repenting. They have no recourse. They are forever doomed. Revelation 14 says, then a third angel followed them with a loud voice, saying, if anyone worships the beast in his image and receives the mark on his forehead or his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Don't ever accept the mark. Don't ever consider accepting the mark. Don't ever be deceived into thinking, I'll accept the mark, but I'll still worship God. The moment you accept the mark of the beast, you will be corrupted. You will be genetically corrupted. You will be forever doomed and have no recourse. You will miss out on heaven and all that God has for those who believe in him and for those who trust him. So today is the day of salvation. Give your life to Jesus. The Bible says if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. Thanks for watching. Continue to watch. I appreciate all your likes and comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Every week I'm getting a message out there to talk about the end times, to talk about the soon coming Lord of Lords. He's coming back for us through the rapture, and to talk about Bible prophecy as we see it happen right before our eyes. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Thanks you very much.